Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Applied Thermodynamics. This is Module 5, Part 2, Steam Nozzles. This is lecture number 9. Myself, Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Kendra Engineering College, Bantwal. So let us solve this problem. Steam expands from 17 bar and 284 degrees Celsius to 0.7 bar in a convergent divergent nozzle, assuming that the expansion is frictionless and the steam discharged is 0.25 kg per second. Calculate the diameter of the nozzle, 1 at a point where pressure is 9.8 bar and 2 at the exit. So using HS chart. So very clearly he is telling us to use molar chart only. So and one more thing all of you should know, that these problems can be solved using steam table also. So next problem, so let me explain to solve using steam table only. So this problem I will solve using molar chart. So what is the initial condition? 17 bar. So P1 is 17 bar and temperature is 284 degrees Celsius, that is T1, and it is expanding to 0.7 bar, so which is taken as 0.7, not 0.2, because it is a convergent divergent nozzle. So the initial pressure is 17 bar is P1, so final pressure is nothing but the pressure at the exit, so which is taken as 0.7 bar. Okay, so that should be taken as P3. So intermediate pressure given is 9.8 bar, so that should be taken as P2. So we don't know whether it is at throat or at other point, but it is given as 9.8 bar. So whatever the diameter area, so you have to calculate at this pressure, okay, at this point or at this section where the pressure is 9.8 bar. Mass flow rate of steam is given as 0.25 kg per second. So for your reference, so the given data is once again noted here. Now this is the molar chart for this problem. So initial pressure is 17 bar. Locate the 17 bar pressure line and also the temperature line of 284 degrees Celsius. So I believe exactly 284 line is not there. So you may have 250 and 300 line. So between that approximately, so you have to locate a line which is imaginary line rather, which is representing 284 degrees Celsius. So where this 17 bar line and 284 degrees Celsius line intersect, so that point you mark it as 1, and corresponding enthalpy you note it as H1, so you'll get as around 3000 kilojoules per kg, and also note down the specific volume at this point. Okay, so that is 0.015 meter cube per kg. Now it is an isentropic expansion process, ideal nozzle, there is no loss given. So isentropic process, you have to come down vertically till it intersects P2 is equal to 9.8 bar. So here also exactly 9.8 bar line may not be there, so it is between 9 and 10, but it is very close to 10. So once again you have to locate a imaginary line for this pressure, and where this vertical line from 1 intersects, so that point you have to mark it as 2, and the corresponding enthalpy you have to mark it, note it down as H2, and corresponding specific volume is 0.22 meter cube per kg. So one thing is very clear here, as the expansion proceeds through the nozzle, enthalpy decreases whereas the specific volume increases. So H1 is 3000, H2 is 2860, small v1 is 0.015, now it is 0.22. So increase in specific volume with a decrease in enthalpy. Now further expansion till the exit is represented by 0.3, so which is corresponding to pressure 0.7 bar. So at this pressure H3 is 2400 kilojoules per kg, so that you have to note down from the molar chart, and V3 is 2.1 meter cube per kg. You can see further increase in the specific volume from 0.22 at section 2 to 2.1 at section 3, and the drainage fraction at exit is 0.885 meter cube. Sorry, it is drainage fraction 0.885. Sorry, it doesn't have any unit. Now let us find out the velocity at the section where pressure is 9.8 bar. So V2 is equal to 44.72 root of HD. HD is nothing but H1 minus H2 for section 2. So it is 44.72 root of 3000 minus 2860. So you'll get it as 529 meter per second. Whereas velocity at exit V3 is equal to 44.72 root of H1 minus H3. You see, first thing is H1 minus H2. So for the second section, it is H1 minus H3, not H2 minus H3. So don't do this mistake. So enthalpy drop you have to calculate from the inlet itself. Okay, so it is H1 minus H3. So it is 44.72 root of 3000 minus 2400. So it is 1095 meter per second. Now the mass flow rate of steam through the nozzle. So you have the continuity equation. M dot is equal to A2 V2 by V2 is equal to A3 by V3 by V3. So here A is the area, capital V is the velocity, small v is the specific volume, as I explained earlier. So a unknown thing in these two expressions is the area. So from the first two terms, A2 is equal to M dot V2 by capital V2. So 0.25 into 0.22 divided by 529. So you'll get it as 1.04 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. But we are asked to find out the diameter at the section where pressure is 9.8 bar and also at the exit. So we know that area is equal to pi d square by 4, or area at section 2, A2 is equal to pi d2 square by 4. So rewriting this formula for finding d2, so it is nothing but square root of 4a2 by pi. So substituting 4 into 1.04 into minus 4 divided by pi, so you'll get the diameter at section 2 as 0.0115 meters. Similarly, the area at section 3 or exit is m dot v3 by capital V3. So 0.25 into 2.1 divided by 1095. So you'll get as 4.794 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. So you are also have to find out the diameter at the exit. So use the formula d3 is equal to root of 4a3 by pi. So 4 into 4.794 into 10 to the minus 4 divided by pi. So you'll get as 0.0247 meters. So this is how you have to find out the diameter at any section for the nozzle problems. Okay, now let us solve this problem. The steam expands from 3 bar to 1 bar in a nozzle. The initial velocity is 90 meter per second and initial temperature is 150 degrees Celsius. Determine the exit velocity of the steam if the expansion is isentropic in the nozzle. Number 2, the nozzle efficiency is 95%. So a problem wherein both isentropic and actual expansion has to be considered. So steam expands from 3 bar to 1 bar. So P1 is 3 bar, P2 is 1 bar. So very interestingly, in this problem, the initial velocity is given. So V1 is 90 meter per second and initial temperature is given as 150 degrees Celsius. So the pressure is 3 bar. So at 3 bar, the saturation temperature is 135.54 degrees Celsius. So you can see here at 3 bar, right? At 3 bar, okay. So the temperature is 135.54 and the given temperature is 150. So therefore the steam is superheated. So as I told earlier, so let me explain this problem how to solve using the steam table. So that will be better, okay? Because we know how to solve using Mollier chart. Now let us note down the given data once again. P1 is 3 bar, P2 is 1 bar, V1 is 90 meter per second, T1 is 150. So now from steam tables, as I told you earlier, at 3 bar, T saturation is 135.54 degrees Celsius and given T1 is 150 degrees Celsius. Therefore, steam is superheated at entry into the nozzle. So this is how you have to find out the condition of the steam entering the nozzle. So once you've come to know that it is superheated steam, so you have to go through the superheated steam table. So it is table A3. It is 3 bar. Okay, so 3 bar is there. Page number 18. This is a thermodynamic data handbook which I am using. Okay, thermodynamic data handbook by B.T. Nijaguna and B.S. Samaga, sir. Okay, so at 3 bar, so you have the 3 rows there: specific volume, enthalpy and entropy. So we are not interested in a specific volume. So let us note down H and S values. At 150 degrees, H is 2760.4 and S value is 7.0771. Okay, so that is nothing but the enthalpy and entropy values at 1 bar. Sorry, 0.1, that is at 3 bar and 150 degrees Celsius from the superadjustable table. So H1 is equal to S super and S1 is equal to S super. Suppose if you are using steam table, you can molar chart, you can cross verify here. Just check out this value at this point, so it will be very close to this value. So that is how you can cross verify your values when you are using molar chart as well as the steam table. Now you have to solve the problems under two cases. One is considering isentropic expansion, other one is actual expansion. So irrespective of whether it's isentropic or actual expansion process, it is irreversible or reversible. So note down the values at 1 bar pressure. So that is at the exit of the nozzle. So here you have to note down HF, HFG, SF and SFG. So no need to give any suffix 2 for these values. So just note down from A1 table. So it is at 1 bar. So at 1 bar HF is 417.5, HFG is 2257.9, SF is 1.3027 and SFG is 6.0571. Perfect. So these values you have to note down from the steam table. Keep it ready. That's all. Now let us start solving this problem. So first case, if the expansion is isentropic. So if the process is isentropic, so that is shown by vertical line from point 1 till it meets pressure 1 bar line. So that point you have to mark it as 2s. S is indicating isentropic expansion. So 1 to 2s is isentropic. That means S1 is equal to S2s. S1 is equal to S2s. So S1 is equal to S. What is S2s? So entropy at point 2s is nothing but SF at point or pressure 2. The pressure here suffix 2 is indicating at section 2. Okay, that is pressure 2 plus X2s into SFG2. Or if you write just SF also, it is fine. SF plus X2s plus SFG. Why? Because here outside I have written at what condition you have to take these values. So you have to note down, or you have to take the SF and SFG values at 1 bar. So already noted it is 1.3027 and 6.0571. You see here when I write at 1 bar, so that means SF and SFG values corresponding to this pressure you have to take. So forget about the point. So point suffix 2s you can give it only for X. That is always better. So here SF plus X2s SFG you have to write, or if you want to write SF2 also no problem, or SF2s also if you want to write you can write. That also you have the option. 2s also you can mention. Here also you can write 2s, no issues. Okay, here also SFG 2s also you can write. Now substitute. So S1 is known from the previous slide. SF at 1 bar and SFG at 1 bar. So only unknown is X2s. So after simplification you will get it as 0.953. So the drainage fraction of steam at 0.2s or at the end of isentropic expansion is 0.953. Okay. Now once you find out the drainage fraction at 0.2s, so our job is almost over. So now you have to find out the enthalpy at 2s. So what is since it is in the two-phase region, because already you know it's wet steam, because you got the drainage fraction X2s value as less than 1. Okay, so you got it as 0.953. So you have the enthalpy formula for the wet steam as H2s is equal to HF2 plus X2s HFG2 at 1 bar. So once again, as I told you earlier, so this 2 you can eliminate. So you can write only HF and HFG because it is corresponding to at 1 bar. Or if you want to write, you can write even 2s also. You can write HF2s plus X2s plus HFG2s, because 2s is indicating the state. That is also better. Choice is yours. So I'll leave it to you. So I'll substitute for HF and HFG and also X2s, and I'll get the enthalpy at 0.2s or at the end of the isentropic expansion as 2569.27 kilojoules per kg. Now once I find out the enthalpy H2s, so let me find out the exit velocity of the nozzle for the isentropic process. So since the velocity, initial velocity is given, so there is a change in the formula. So it is V2 is equal to square root of V1 square plus 2000 into H1 minus H2s. So it is 90 square, V1 square is 90 square, 2000 into H1 is 2760.4, and H2 just yes is just now is you calculated 2569.27. So you'll get the velocity at the end of the isentropic expansion at the exit of the nozzle is 624.78 meter per second. Now let us consider the nozzle efficiency. That means the process is not isentropic. So you know that nozzle efficiency, now the point is 2A, so actual enthalpy drop, that is H1 minus H2A divided by isentropic enthalpy drop H1 minus H2S is nothing but K, but it is numerator from this side is taken to the other side and multiplied by K. So you have the same formula for the nozzle efficiency actually. So H1 minus H2A is equal to K into H1 minus H2S. That's all, nothing to worry about this formula. So here the velocity at the exit, okay, is nothing but V2 is equal to square root of V1 square plus 2000 into H1 minus H2A. You have to write actually, or separately you can calculate from using this formula H1 minus H2A, and 2000 into H1 minus H2A you can write here, or you can substitute for H1 minus H2A as K into H1 minus H2S. If you want, you can write, you can use the actual formula should be like this: V2 is equal to square root of V1 square plus 2000 into the actual enthalpy drop, that is nothing but H1 minus H2A. Okay, try to understand this, now don't get confused and all. So here, sorry, I'll write that A here, let me erase that. Okay, so this is the formula I should use. So H1 minus H2A, either you can calculate from this expression K into H1 minus H2S, because H1 minus H2S is there already. So you can calculate H1 minus H2A from that equation, and you can substitute in this expression, or in place of H1 minus H2A you can substitute as K into H1 minus H2S, as I did in this problem. Is it clear for all of you? So both the things you can do. So substituting, V1 square is 90 square, 2000, nozzle efficiency is 0.90 because 90% is given, H1 is 2760.4 and H2S is 2569.27. So you'll get for isentropic expansion process, the velocity at the exit of the nozzle is 593.4 meter per second. Now, as I told earlier, so this problem can be solved using Molar chart also, which is much easier. So let me explain that once again. Look at point 1, that is 3 bar, and the corresponding temperature 150 degrees Celsius. So look at the point 1. So 150 degrees Celsius line will be somewhere here. So H1 you will get, then come down isentropically from 1 to 2s to meet 1 bar line. So that is 2a. That is nothing but, sorry, 2s. So H2 is a H2S, okay, not H2, H2S. Now once you find out H1 and H2S, use the nozzle efficiency formula to find out H2A. Okay, so then you can solve the problem for both isentropic as well as the actual expansion process. Now let us solve this last problem. Okay, dry saturated steam at pressure 11 bar enters a convergent divergent nozzle and leaves at a pressure of 2 bar. If the flow is adiabatic and frictionless, determine the exit velocity of the steam and ratio of cross section at exit and at throat. Assume the index of adiabatic expansion as 1.135. Okay, dry saturated steam. You see, it looks very simple, but you have to note down or notice this word dry saturated steam, because here only pressure is given, no temperature is given. So don't get confused, because the word dry saturated steam indicates that it is a dry saturated steam at pressure 11 bar. So okay, it enters a convergent divergent nozzle and leaves at a pressure of 2 bar. So exit pressure is 2 bar. Flow is adiabatic and frictionless, so isentropic. Okay, adiabatic and frictionless is nothing but adiabatic, that is a reversible adiabatic process. So you are supposed to find out the exit velocity of steam and also the ratio of cross section at exit and that at throat. Okay, let us solve this. P1 is 11 bar and dry saturated, so that is the condition of the steam at the inlet. P3 is 2 bar and N is equal to 1.135. Okay, for your reference, there is data is once again noted here. Okay, now here the important thing to solve in this problem is to find out the critical pressure ratio at throat, because before you mark the points on the molar chart or the HS diagram, so this is very important to note down the critical pressure ratio. So critical pressure ratio at throat is given by P2 by P1 is equal to 2 by n plus 1 to the power n by n minus 1 is equal to 2 by 1.135 plus 1 whole to the power 1.135 divided by 0.135. So you will get as 0.577. So this is very important, because the pressure at throat is important for us. So pressure at throat is P2 is equal to 0.577 into P1, which is nothing but 11 bar. So you'll get it as 6.35 bar. So only after noting or calculating this pressure at throat, you have to draw the molar chart. Now let us discuss this molar chart. So initial pressure is 11 bar and dry saturated steam. So you can see here, this is the dry saturated steam line here. So it is written saturation line where dryness fraction is 1 or x is equal to 1. Okay, so this 11 bar and the intersection of dry saturation, so that is the point 1 and corresponding value is the H1 here. Now you already know, so this is 6.35 bar, just now you calculated, which is 35. Okay, so P2, so come down vertically down from point 1 till it intersects 6.35. so 6.35 exactly you may not have, but approximately you have to imagine a line and you have to assume that this line drawn vertically from point 1 intersects that line, and you have to locate that point using pencil. And the corresponding enthalpy you can note down it as H. If required, you can find a dryness fraction at that point, which is 0.96. Okay, and also you can find out specific volume also, or else you can find out specific volume of dry steam at 0.2 or pressure 2, and you can multiply by x2, find out the actual specific volume at that point, because it is in the two-phase region. So that I'll show you later. Now further continue this line vertically downwards till it intersects the pressure 2 bar line. So at point 3, and note down the corresponding value of H3 as well as X3. So previously all the problems used to note down the specific volume. So now you are noting the dryness fraction line. So because you can take the specific volume of dry steam from the steam table, and you can multiply with these dryness fraction values to get the actual specific volume at that points. Okay, that I will explain in the next slide. So once you note down the point 1, 2, 3 in your molar chart, so you can use pencil to put a dot at that point. Later you can erase that. So for the process 1 to 2, so HD is nothing but H1 minus H2. So this is the enthalpy difference for the process 1 to 2. So H1 is 2780 and H2 is 2679. So you can cross verify, and there will be small variation in these values also, and therefore whenever you are using molar chart, a variation of up to 5% in answer is allowed. Okay, and X2 is okay. So therefore HD, the enthalpy drop between section 1 and 2 or during the convergent part of the nozzle is 101 kilojoules per kg, and X2 is 0.96. So VG2, that is what I told, specific volume at section 2 you can take for dry steam at section 2, which is 0.300 meter cube per kg at pressure 6.35. So if you go through the steam tables, so 6.35 is not there, so you have to find out between 6 and 7. So VG value at 6 is 0.31546 and at 7 is 0.27268. That means it is decreasing. So you have to go for the interpolation. So what is interpolation? VG at 6 bar plus, so it is 6 and 7, it's 0.35, so 35%. So 0.35 into, so it is minus actually, okay. VG at 6 bar minus, because it is decreasing, 0.35 into difference in VG values between 6 and 7, that is 0.31546 minus 0.27268. So I repeat, VG at 6 bar minus 0.35, because 6.35 is there, so 35. If you divide between 6 and 7, 100 parts, so 100 by 35 by 100, so which is 0.35. okay, so 0.35 into VG at 6 bar minus VG at 7 bar. So you can cross verify the value which I gave in the slide. Okay, so I got it as 0.3 meter cube per kg. So now you can find out the velocity at throat. V2 is equal to 44.72 root of hd, because initial velocity is not given, so you'll get as 449.9 meter per second. And mass flow rate of steam, as you know the continuity equation, m dot is equal to a2 v2 by small v2. So here, as I told you earlier, so since specific volume at v2 is not noted, but x2 is known, and dryness specific volume at dry steam at section 2 is known, Vg2. So you can use the V2, you can replace by x2 Vg2. You see, whenever it is wet steam, if you know the dryness fraction, so specific volume of wet steam is nothing but xVg. So for this point 2, it is V2 is equal to x2 Vg2. Suppose if it is section 3, V3 is equal to x3 Vg3. That is how you have to find out. Okay, so now here m is not given, so let me assume unit mass flow rate, so m dot is 1, so I can find out a2 as m dot x2 Vg2 divided by capital V2. So 1 into x2 is 0.96, Vg2 is 0.3, and velocity you calculated just now is 449.4 meter per second. So you'll get the area of cross section at throat is 6.4085 × 10⁻⁴ meter square. Similarly, let us find out the enthalpy drop between section 1 and 3. So HD is equal to H1 minus H3. So H1 is same 2780, but H3 is 2480 at section 3 or at point 3 from the molar chart. So the difference is 300 kilojoules per kg, and X3 value, the dryness fraction value at point 3 is 0.9. So once again note down Vg at 2 bar. So 2 bar you have the pressure 2 bar from the steam table, so it is 0.8854 meter cube per kg. So I have taken first 3 digits, 0.885 meter cube per kg. This is from the data and book. Okay. So velocity at the exit V3 is equal to 44.72 root of hd. So 44.7 root of 300 is 774.57 meter per second. So once again, using this continuity equation, m dot is equal to a3 v3 by small v3 or a3 v3 by x3 vg3. So as I told you earlier, specific volume at section 3 being in the two-phase region, it is xvg or x3 vg3. So once again, assuming unit mass flow rate, so A3 is equal to m dot x3 Vg3 by capital V3, 1 into 0.9 into 0.885 divided by 774.57, which is you just now you calculated. You'll get the area at the exit as 1.0283 into 10⁻³ meter square. Now let us find out our required answer, that is the ratio of cross section area at exit to that of throat. So it is A3 by A2, because at exit to that of throat, so let me write that. So it is A3 by A2. Okay, that is missing, so let me include that. 1.0283 into 10⁻³ divided by 6.4085 into 10⁻⁴, so you'll get as 1.60. So this is how you have to calculate the ratio of the cross section area set in into sections. So with this I conclude this module 5. This is entire module I am concluding, and I'll be back with the module 1 lecture series. Okay, so that I am taking at the end. Okay, thank you.